I found the phone on the day we were supposed to renew our vows. By nightfall, I'd lost everything I thought was sacred. It's Saturday morning, April 17th. The anniversary invitations are stacked on our kitchen counter, already addressed. White envelopes with gold lettering. Elegant. Sarah picked them out 3 months ago. We're renewing our vows next weekend. 10 years together, 6 years married. The invitations say, join us as we reaffirm our commitment. I'm in Emma's room looking for her stuffed rabbit. She's 6 and she won't go to her grandmother's house without Mr. Hoppy. The toy chest is overflowing. Purple unicorns, building blocks, dress-up clothes. I dig through layers of plastic and fabric, and that's when I see it, half buried under stuffed animals, a phone I'd never seen before. It's a Samsung Galaxy, pink glitter case. The screen is cracked in the corner, spider webbing toward the camera. I pull it out slowly. It's heavier than I expect. There's something sticky on the case. Fruit snack residue, probably. Emma's tiny fingerprints are visible in the glitter. Sarah calls from downstairs. Mike, did you find him? Yeah, I say. My voice sounds normal. Got him. I should put the phone back. I should walk downstairs and hand Emma her rabbit and drive her to my mother's house and come home and finish addressing invitations with my wife. I press the power button. The screen lights up, 28% battery. The lock screen is a default image, some beach at sunset. No notifications visible. I try to swipe up. It asks for a passcode. I try our anniversary, 4 digits, nothing. I try Emma's birthday, 6 digits, nothing. I try 0. It unlocks. The home screen loads. There are only a few apps, messages, photos, calendar, no social media, no email. This is a burner phone. The realization hits me like cold water. People have burner phones for one reason. Sarah calls again. Mike, Emma's getting antsy. 2 minutes, I say. I open messages first. There are only 2 conversations. One labeled D with 347 messages. The other labeled Mom with 6 messages. I click on D. The last message was sent 3 weeks ago. It reads, I miss the way you taste. My hands start to shake. I scroll up. The messages go back 13 months. 13 months of good morning, beautiful, and can't wait to see you Wednesday and that thing you did with your tongue, and I'm obsessed with you. I sit down on Emma's bed. The mattress is small. My feet touch the floor. Around me, stuffed animals watch with button eyes. I scroll and scroll and scroll. There are logistics. Hotel at 2, same room. Can you stay until 5 this time? There are photos. I don't open them yet. I can see the thumbnails. A woman's body, parts of bodies. Sheets I recognize. There are plans. What should we tell him? Not yet. After the renewal, my chest feels tight. I'm reading messages between my wife and someone named D. Planning, coordinating, laughing. For over a year. Sarah appears in the doorway. Mike, seriously, Mom's expecting... She stops. She sees the phone in my hands. For 3 seconds, we just look at each other. Whose phone is that? She asks. Her voice is careful. You tell me. I don't know what that is. She takes a step into the room. Where did you find it? Emma's toy chest, pink glitter case. Ring any bells? Her face does something complicated. Not quite fear, not quite guilt. Something between calculation and panic. I've never seen that before. Sarah, I'm serious. I don't know where that came from. Maybe it was in there from when we bought the house. The previous owners. It's charged, I say. 28%. And it has messages from 3 weeks ago. She's quiet now. I stand up. I'm taller than her by 4 inches, but I've never felt it before. Never used it. Right now I feel every inch. Who is D? I don't know what you're talking about. I scroll to a message and read it aloud. Wednesday was perfect. I can still smell you on my shirt. I look up. Want to hear more? I've got 347 messages here. Her mouth opens. Closes. Opens again. Where's Emma? Downstairs. Don't change the subject. We can't do this with her in the house. Then you have two options. You can tell her you'll be right there and we can talk fast. Or you can call your mom and cancel and we can talk slow. She pulls out her real phone, her iPhone with the rose gold case, and texts someone, probably her mom. Then she looks at me. Let me see it. No? If that's mine, is it? She doesn't answer. I sit back down on Emma's bed. I open the Photos app. There are 23 photos. I scroll through quickly, just glimpses. A hotel room. A man's hand on a woman's hip. Bathroom mirror selfies. Champagne glasses. A woman's face I recognize. My wife laughing, her hair messy, wearing a black bra I bought her for her birthday. Then I see one that makes me stop breathing. The photo is taken in a bedroom. Our bedroom. I recognize the gray comforter, the white nightstand, the window behind the bed with the curtain Sarah insisted we buy from West Elm. Same bed where we'd renewed our commitment that morning. Same sheets I'd changed because I wanted everything perfect. The metadata says it was taken on April 17th, last year, our anniversary. I look up at Sarah. She's watching me, waiting. Who, I say slowly, is D? She sits down on the floor, actually sits, her back against Emma's dresser, knees pulled up. For a moment she looks young, scared. I didn't mean for you to find out this way. There it is, confirmation. The room tilts slightly. Who is D? She's quiet for a long time. Then she says, David? The name hits different than I expected. It's not a stranger. It's not some random coworker. It's David. David. The same David who held my hand at my father's funeral 6 months ago. The same David who'd been my college roommate. The same David I'd trusted with my house keys and my Netflix password and my daughter's birthday parties. David who sat in my living room 2 weeks ago watching the playoffs, drinking my beer, asking how Sarah and I were doing. David, I repeat. I'm sorry, her voice is small. David, I say again because I need to hear it out loud, need to make it real. My friend David, the guy who held my hand at Dad's funeral, that David. She nods. I stand up. I need to move. I need to do something with my hands. I walk to the window. Emma's playing in the backyard. I can see her from here, chasing a butterfly, her purple jacket bright against the grass. How long? I ask. 13 months? 13 months! I turn to face her. You've been sleeping with my best friend for 13 months. He was your college roommate. You haven't been close in years. He was at our house 2 weeks ago. I know. Emma calls him Uncle David. I know. Something breaks inside me. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet snap, like a guitar string. We don't leave, I say. That's what you said at our wedding, remember? Not till death do us part. You wanted something different. You said, we don't leave. She's crying now. Mike, no. I hold up the phone. You left. You left 13 months ago. You just forgot to tell me. I walk to the door. She stands up. Where are you going? Downstairs, to get Emma, to take her to your mom's, and then I'm coming back here and you're going to tell me everything. Mike, please, can we just... I had 2 hours before you came home that day. I interrupt. 2 hours to decide. Confront or investigate further. I chose investigation, but we both know the truth was in that phone from the start. I'm not in Emma's room anymore. I'm in my car. Emma's in the back seat, buckled in, clutching Mr. Hoppy. She's asking if Mommy's okay. I tell her yes. I tell her Mommy just has a headache. At my mother's house, I hug Emma tight. Too tight. She squirms. Daddy, you're squishing me. Sorry, baby. I kiss her forehead. She smells like strawberry shampoo and childhood. Have fun with Grandma. On the drive home, I don't turn on the radio. I need silence. I need to think. But I don't think. I plan. Back home, I don't go inside immediately. I sit in the driveway for 10 minutes. The pink phone is in my pocket. I pull it out. I go through every message again, slower this time. I screenshot everything. I text the screenshots to my own phone. I document. March 14th. Hotel at 2. March 14th. Same room as always, 3:15. March 21st. Wednesdays are my favorite day. March 28th. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. 347 messages. Every Wednesday for 8 months, same hotel. Room 314, standing reservation. I find the hotel receipts in her Photos app. Screenshots of confirmations. $127.99 every Wednesday. She saved them, like trophies. I open the calendar app. There are entries labeled gym every Wednesday at 1 p.m. I laugh. It's a sharp sound, unfamiliar in my throat. Gym. She told me she'd joined a gym. She came home every Wednesday at 5:30, smelling like soap, her hair damp. I thought she was getting healthy. I transfer everything to my laptop. Create a folder, label it evidence. I'm mechanical now, precise. Then I remember. I go to Emma's room, the room where this started. I look through her drawings. She has dozens taped to the walls, stuffed in folders. I find one from her school cubby dated 3 weeks ago. It's a crayon drawing, 3 stick figures, one tall with yellow hair, Sarah, one shorter with brown hair, Emma, and one medium-sized with dark hair and a big smile. At the top, in Emma's careful handwriting, Mommy and Uncle David at the park. There are hearts, purple hearts drawn thick. The crayon was pressed so hard it tore through the paper in one spot. She'd colored it over and over. In the bottom corner, smaller letters, Mommy said, "Don't tell Daddy. My 6-year-old daughter has been keeping her mother's secrets." I sit on the floor of Emma's room holding this drawing, and I understand something fundamental has broken. Not just my marriage, not just my friendship, the walls of my daughter's childhood. If you've ever felt something was wrong but couldn't name it, just leave an "I understand" in the comments. You're not alone. I hear the front door open. Sarah's home. She calls my name. I fold the drawing carefully. I put it in my pocket with the phone. I stand up. Downstairs, Sarah's in the kitchen. She's made coffee. 2 mugs on the counter. Like this is a normal Saturday. Like we're about to discuss weekend plans or what to have for dinner. I put the drawing on the table. She looks at it. Her face goes pale. "Where did you—" "Her school cubby from 3 weeks ago." I sit down. Emma knows. Our 6-year-old knows. "And you told her not to tell me." "Mike, I didn't tell her to—" "Mommy said don't tell Daddy." That's what she wrote. She misunderstood. I said, Uncle David and I were surprising you with something. A gift. That's all. "What were you surprising me with? Matching STD tests?" She flinches. "That's not fair." "Fair?" I laugh again. Same sharp sound. "You want to talk about fair? I made mistakes, I know that, but you were never really present anyway." There it is, the pivot, the defense. Suddenly this is my fault. I was never present, I repeat. You worked 60 hours a week. You were always tired, always distant. I worked 60 hours a week to pay for this house, for Emma's private school, for the vacation to Disney you wanted, for the fucking vow renewal we were supposed to have next week. It wasn't about the money. Then what was it about? She's crying again, real tears this time. I was lonely. You were lonely, so you fucked my friend for 13 months in our bed, and you taught our daughter to lie for you. Don't make this about Emma. I stand up. I'm done sitting, done pretending this is a conversation. Everything is about Emma now. That's the only thing that matters. What are you going to do? I look at her, really look at her. Sarah, my wife, the woman I thought I'd grow old with. She's wearing yoga pants and a gray t-shirt, no makeup, hair in a messy bun. She looks exactly like she did this morning, but she's a stranger. I don't know yet, I say, but you need to leave. This is my house too. I know, which is why I'm asking, not telling. But Sarah, if you want any chance of this ending without lawyers and custody battles and Emma finding out every detail when she's old enough to Google, you need to leave. Tonight. Where am I supposed to go? I pull the phone from my pocket. I place it on the table between us. I'm sure Dee has a spare room. She stares at the phone. The pink glitter case catches the kitchen light. How long have you been planning this? She whispers. Planning what? This, the evidence, the screenshots. You've been collecting everything. I spent 2 hours doing detective work in my own marriage. I never wanted to be this person, but you made me this person. She reaches for the phone. I pull it back. That's mine, she says. It's evidence, I correct, and it stays with me. You can't just, I can. I did, and unless you want me to send every single message to David's wife, to your mother, to everyone at your office, you're going to pack a bag and leave. You wouldn't. Try me. We stare at each other across the kitchen table. The coffee's getting cold. The drawing sits between us, Emma's crayon hearts bright purple. Finally, Sarah stands. I need to get some things. You have 20 minutes. She leaves the kitchen. I hear her footsteps on the stairs, hear the bedroom door close. I sit alone in the kitchen holding a pink phone with a cracked screen, and I think about how fast a life can end. This morning, I was a husband planning a vow renewal. Tonight, I'm a man collecting evidence for a divorce. The phone in my hand buzzes, a text message. I look at the screen. It's from D from David. Missing you. Can't wait for Wednesday. The message was sent 4 minutes ago. He doesn't know. David doesn't know I found the phone. He's still texting her, still planning their next meeting, still living in a world where I'm the oblivious husband. I think about responding, think about typing. This is Mike, we need to talk. But I don't. Instead, I screenshot the message, add it to the folder. Evidence entry, Measure C68. Sarah comes downstairs with a duffel bag. Her eyes are red. I'll stay at my mom's. Fine. When do I get to see Emma? I don't know yet. She's my daughter. She's our daughter, and she's been lying for you. Do you understand what that does to a kid? Teaching her that secrets are normal, that lying to protect mommy is love? You never meant a lot of things, but you did them anyway. She sets the bag by the door. I'm sorry, she says. I know you don't believe me, but I am. I never wanted to hurt you. Then why did you? She doesn't have an answer. She picks up her bag and walks out. The door closes quietly. No slam, no drama, just silence. I sit in that silence for a long time. Then I call my lawyer, Mark Peterson. We went to law school together. He's been my lawyer for 6 years, handled the house closing, wrote our wills, set up Emma's trust fund. He answers on the second ring. Mike, it's Saturday, man. Everything okay? No, I say. I need to file for divorce, and I need to do it Monday. There's a pause. Jesus. Okay. What happened? I found evidence of an affair, 13 months, documented, screenshots, photos, hotel receipts, and our daughter knew about it. Your daughter knew? She drew pictures of Sarah and the guy at the park. She wrote that Sarah told her not to tell me. Mark's quiet for a moment. Then, Mike, I need you to send me everything, every screenshot, every photo, every receipt. And I need you to not contact Sarah or this other guy. Don't text, don't call, don't engage. Can you do that? Yeah. Good. I'll draft the papers. We can file Monday morning. In the meantime, document everything. If she tries to take Emma, call me immediately. If she tries to come back to the house, call me immediately. Got it? Got it. And Mike, I'm sorry, man. This fucking sucks. Yeah, I say. It does. I hang up. I sit in my empty house. Upstairs, the bed is unmade. The vow renewal invitations are still on the counter, gold lettering gleaming. Join us as we reaffirm our commitment. I laugh until I'm crying. And then I'm just crying. Outside, it's starting to get dark. I need to pick up Emma soon. I need to figure out what to tell her. I need to figure out how to be a father when everything I thought I knew about being a husband is ash. But first, I need to do one more thing. I open the pink phone one more time. I scroll through the messages until I find the one I'm looking for. Sarah. What should we tell him? D. Not yet. After the renewal, he deserves a good last memory. A good last memory. They were going to let me renew my vows. Let me stand in front of everyone I know and pledge my life to a woman who was already gone. Let me be the fool who still believed in we don't leave. I screenshot this message too, add it to the folder. Then I delete nothing, change nothing. I leave the phone exactly as I found it, every message intact, every lie preserved, because I know now evidence speaks louder than explanations. And before this is over, everyone will know the truth. The phone buzzes again, another message from David. I love you, 3 words, simple, final. I turn off the phone, put it in my pocket, and I go to pick up my daughter from a world that no longer exists. Emma falls asleep in the car on the way home from my mother's. I carry her inside, her head heavy on my shoulder. She smells like cookies and my mother's perfume, normal things, safe things. I tuck her into bed. Mr. Hoppy goes under her left arm, the way she likes. I kiss her forehead. She stirs but doesn't wake. Downstairs, the house is too quiet. Sarah's absence is a presence. Her coffee mug still on the counter, her shoes by the door, her jacket on the hook. I should sleep. It's almost midnight, but I can't. I sit at the kitchen table with my laptop and the pink phone. I need to know more. I need to understand the full scope of what I'm dealing with. I set up a voice-activated recorder. Mark said to document everything. In our state, one-party consent means I can record conversations I'm part of. But what I'm hoping for is something else. At 12:47 a.m., Sarah calls me. I let it go to voicemail. She calls again. Voicemail? Third time, I answer. What? My voice is flat. I need to come get some things. Clothes, toiletries. Tomorrow, I'll put a box on the porch. Mike, please, can we talk? About what? About us. About fixing this. I almost laugh. There's no fixing this, Sarah. You don't know that. Couples survive affairs. We could try therapy. Couples survive affairs when the affair ends. When was yours going to end? After the vow renewal? After another year? After Emma turned 18? She's quiet. That's what I thought, I say. I love you. No, you don't. You love the life I provide. The house, the stability, the money. But me, you left me 13 months ago. That's not true. Then tell me when. Tell me exactly when you were planning to choose, him or me. Because those messages don't read like someone conflicted. They read like someone in love with someone else. It's complicated. It's actually very simple. I'm surprised by how calm I sound. You wanted both, the affair and the marriage, the excitement and the security. And you probably could have had both if you'd been smarter about hiding that phone. Is this really what you want? A divorce? Custody battles? Lawyers? I want my daughter protected. Everything else is negotiable. I would never hurt Emma. You already did. You made her complicit. You made her lie for you. I didn't. Mommy said don't tell Daddy. That's what she wrote, Sarah, our 6-year-old. What do you think that does to a kid's sense of reality, of trust? Silence on the line, then, I'll call tomorrow about the box. She hangs up. I sit there, phone in hand, and I realize something. She never denied anything. Never said it was a mistake. Never said it was over. She just said it was complicated. The recorder captured the whole conversation. But I'm not done. At 1:15 a.m., I hear Sarah on the phone in the background. She must have called someone else. I don't know who. But the recorder I placed near her duffel bag before she left, the one I slipped into the side pocket, is still transmitting to my phone. I listen. It's her voice, clear. She's talking to someone. A friend, maybe? He found everything, the phone, the messages. He knows about David. A pause. I don't know how. It was in Emma's toy chest. I forgot I'd hidden it there. Another pause. No, he's not being reasonable. He wants me out, wants a divorce. Pause. Of course I told him I loved him. What else was I supposed to say? Then she laughs. Actually laughs. Michael, he'll forgive me. He always does. I just need to give him a few days to cool off. Then I'll come home and we'll work it out. He's too practical to blow up our life over this. The words hit like physical blows. He'll forgive me. He always does. She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand that this time is different. That there's no coming back from teaching our daughter to lie. That there's no forgiving 13 months of deliberate deception. Or maybe she does understand, and she just doesn't care. The recording continues. She's talking about strategy now, about how she'll frame it as my fault. I was never home, never present, never emotionally available. How she'll tell people I was cold, distant, possibly depressive. I listened to my wife rewrite our history in real time, turning me into the villain of her story. When the recording ends, I save it. File name, Sarah, that call, April 17, 1, 15 a.m. to M4A. Evidence entry, -69. I should feel triumphant. I have everything I need, her words, her lies, her strategy. But I just feel empty. The next morning, Sunday, I wake up on the couch. Emma's standing over me, still in her pajamas, holding Mr. Hoppy. Where's Mommy? I sit up. My neck hurts. Mommy's at Grandma's house. Why? She needed to help Grandma with something. Can I call her? After breakfast, okay? Let's make pancakes. We make pancakes. Emma chatters about the butterfly she saw yesterday. About how Grandma taught her to play Go Fish. About how Mr. Hoppy needs a bath because he smells funny. Normal things. Beautiful things. I watch her eat, syrup on her chin, legs swinging under the table, and I think, I will burn everything down before I let anyone hurt this child. Monday morning, I'm at Mark's office at 8 a.m. He's already there, coffee in hand, looking tired. Didn't sleep much, he says. Been reviewing your evidence. He gestures to his desk. My entire case is printed out, organized in a 3-ring binder. The cover is simple. Hayes v. Hayes, Evidence Compendium. 67 pages, Mark says. Mike, this is a prosecutor's dream. I sit down. But are you ready for what comes next? What comes next? She's going to fight. When people are caught this thoroughly, they don't surrender. They escalate. She'll claim abuse, neglect. She'll try to flip the narrative. Are you prepared for that? I have evidence. Evidence of an affair, not evidence that you're a good father. Those are two different things in family court. What do you need? He pulls out a legal pad. Character witnesses, teachers, neighbors, anyone who can speak to your relationship with Emma. Daycare pickup records, school event attendance, pediatrician visits, every single piece of documentation that proves you're the primary caregiver. Sarah does the pickups usually, I work. Usually, 70% of the time, maybe. Mark makes a note. We'll need the exact numbers. Request the logs from the daycare. They keep records. Okay. I'm also recommending a paternity test. The room tilts. What? Mike, she had a 13-month affair. The court will want confirmation that Emma is biologically yours before awarding custody. Emma is mine. I know, but we need it documented. Otherwise, Sarah's lawyer will use the uncertainty as leverage. She wouldn't. Emma looks just like me. People do a lot of things we don't expect when they're scared. He slides a form across the desk. This is for a DNA test. It's non-invasive, just a cheek swab. Results take 3 days. I stare at the form. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I've wondered. Of course I've wondered. 13 months, hotel rooms, Wednesdays. What if... But Emma has my eyes, my stubborn chin. My terrible singing voice. Okay, I say, schedule it. Here's what I want to ask you. If you had the evidence I had, would you fight for custody or try to co-parent peacefully? Comment, fight, or co-parent. I genuinely want to know what you would have done. Mark walks me through the timeline. File for divorce by Wednesday. Request emergency custody hearing. Subpoena the hotel records. Depose David. Prepare for mediation in 6 weeks. 6 weeks, I say. I have to wait 6 weeks? That's fast, Mike. Most custody cases take 6 months. You're getting priority because of Emma's age and the documented deception involving her. What happens in the meantime? Temporary orders. You'll likely get primary physical custody pending the hearing, given the evidence. She'll get supervised visitation. She's going to hate that. She should have thought about that before involving your daughter in an affair. I leave Mark's office with the binder under my arm. 67 pages. My marriage reduced to evidence tabs. Messages, photos, witnesses, timeline, financial. The tab labeled financial catches my eye. I haven't looked at this section yet. That night, after Emma goes to bed, I open the binder to the financial tab. Mark has pulled our credit card statements, highlighted in yellow, every Wednesday for 8 months. A charge of $127.99 to the Riverside Hotel. Same room, same time. She put it on our joint card. I paid for my own betrayal. Every Wednesday, $127.99 automatically deducted from our account. And I never noticed. I scroll through the statements. There's more. Charges to Victoria's Secret on Tuesdays. Charges to a Brazilian wax place called Smooth on Tuesday mornings. Charges to a wine shop near David's apartment. She had a routine. Tuesday, she'd prepare. Wednesday, she'd execute. Thursday through Monday, she'd be my wife again. The most expensive affair in history, and I funded all of it. I laugh. It comes out wrong. Sharp, bitter. Emma calls from upstairs. Daddy, you okay? I'm fine, baby. Go to sleep. Can't sleep. I close the binder and go upstairs. Emma's sitting up in bed, Mr. Hoppy clutched tight. What's wrong? Bad dream. I sit on her bed. Want to tell me about it? Mommy was far away. I couldn't reach her. My chest hurts. Mommy's okay. She's just staying with Grandma for a bit. When's she coming home? I don't know yet. Did you and Mommy have a fight? Kids know. They always know. Yeah, I say. We did. Because of me? No. Baby, no. Never because of you. I pull her into my lap. Adults sometimes have problems that have nothing to do with kids. This is one of those times. But I need you to know something. Mommy and I both love you. That never changes. Okay? Okay. And if anyone ever asks you to keep a secret from me or Mommy, you tell me right away. Secrets aren't the same as surprises. Surprises are fun. Secrets that make you feel bad, those you tell, understand? She nods against my chest. Good girl. I tuck her back in. Go to sleep. I'll be right downstairs. At the door, she calls my name. Daddy? Yeah? Are you going to leave like Mommy did? The question destroys me. No, I'm not going anywhere. I promise. We don't leave, she says. That's what Mommy said at your wedding. I saw the video. Yeah, I say, my voice cracks. We don't leave. But the words taste like ash now. Wednesday, the DNA results arrive in a sealed envelope. Lab logo in the corner, heavy paper stock. I open it in my car before going into work. Probability of paternity, 97% Emma is mine. The relief is physical. My hands shake. My eyes blur. Emma is mine. But the relief lasts exactly 4 seconds, because underneath the paternity results, there's a secondary report. The lab tech included a note. Additional maternal markers analyzed. Genetic counseling recommended for child carrier status. Thalassemia trait detected. Thalassemia. I don't have it. I had genetic testing before Emma was born. Standard screening. Sarah has it. Her grandmother was Mediterranean. Emma inherited it from Sarah, which means Emma is biologically ours. No question, no doubt. I should be grateful. I am grateful. But I'm also devastated that I doubted, that 13 months of lies made me question my own daughter's paternity, that I needed a lab report to confirm what I already knew in my bones. This is what Sarah did. She made me doubt everything, every moment, every memory, every certainty. I sit in my car in the lab parking lot, holding a piece of paper that confirms my daughter is mine, and I cry like I haven't cried since my father died. When I'm done, I take a photo of the results, send it to Mark. His response is immediate. Good. This closes that door. Custody case is stronger now. I drive to work. I sit through meetings. I answer emails. I'm a ghost wearing my own skin. That night I call my mother. I need to tell her before Sarah does, before she hears a version of events that isn't true. Mike, she sounds surprised. Calling on a Wednesday? That's new. Mom, I need to talk to you. Can you come over this weekend? What's wrong? Sarah and I are getting divorced. Silence. Then, oh honey, I'm so sorry. What happened? She had an affair, 13 months, with David. Another silence, longer this time. Mom, I'm here. Did you hear what I said? I heard. Something in her tone stops me. Mom, did you know? Mike, did you know? Your sister saw them at a restaurant about 6 months ago. She told me. The world tilts again. Jennifer knew. You knew. We didn't know for sure. It could have been innocent. Innocent. I'm standing now, pacing my kitchen. Mom, Jennifer saw my wife with my friend at a restaurant and thought it might be innocent. We didn't want to make accusations without proof. So you said nothing. For 6 months, while I planned a vow renewal, while Emma drew pictures of them together, while I paid for their hotel rooms on my credit card, you said nothing. We were trying to protect you. Protect me? From what? The truth? From making a mistake? From blowing up your family over something that might not be real? It was real, Mom. 13 months, 347 messages, 23 photos, 8 months of weekly hotel visits. It was real, and you knew, and you said nothing. Mike, please understand. No, you understand. When Dad died, Sarah and I were there. We held your hand. We planned the funeral. We showed up. And when my marriage was dying, you watched and said nothing. We didn't want to ruin the family. The words hit like a slap. The family was already ruined. You just didn't want to see it. I hang up. I'm shaking. My own mother, my sister, they knew, not my wife, not my best friend, not even my own mother. I sit down at the kitchen table. Emma's latest drawing is there, a picture of our house with 3 people. She drew it yesterday. 2 people inside, Daddy and Emma. 1 person outside, small and far away. Mommy. A 6-year-old understands what my family couldn't. Thursday, Mark calls. I got the daycare records. And? You did 90% of pickups. Sarah did 10%. The director noted that Emma frequently asked when you were coming, never asked for her mother. Really? Really, I'm getting a written statement. This is good, Mike. Really good. What else do we need? I reached out to Emma's teacher at school, Ms. Rodriguez. She wants to talk to you. Friday after work, I meet Ms. Rodriguez at a coffee shop near Emma's school. She's young, maybe 30, with kind eyes and a teacher's patient demeanor. Mr. Hayes, she says, thank you for meeting me. Call me Mike. What did you want to talk about? She pulls out a folder. I need to tell you something, and I want you to know I've already documented this with the school administration, and I'm willing to provide an affidavit if needed. My stomach drops. Okay. Emma is a wonderful student, bright, curious, empathetic. But about 6 months ago, I noticed changes. What kind of changes? She became anxious about pickup time. She'd ask me repeatedly what time you were coming. She'd watch the door. And when someone else picked her up. Someone else? Ms. Rodriguez nods. A man named David. He picked Emma up 14 times this school year. He signed her out as Uncle David. I assumed he was family. My hands gripped the coffee cup. 14 times. The other parents, she hesitates. Mr. Hayes, several parents asked me if you and your wife had separated. They assumed David was Emma's father. He was that comfortable with her, that familiar. The coffee shop blurs. Did Emma seem okay with him? She did, but that's not what concerns me. What concerns me is what Emma said 3 weeks ago. What did she say? We were reading a book about families, different kinds of families. Emma said, "My family is confused right now." I asked what she meant. She said, "Mommy loves Uncle David and Daddy doesn't know." The words land like hammer blows. I documented it immediately, Ms. Rodriguez continues. I planned to call you, but I wanted to consult with the school counselor first. Then I saw in the system that you'd requested Emma's records, and I put 2 and 2 together. Thank you, I manage. Thank you for telling me. She slides a document across the table. This is my statement, 3 pages, signed and notarized, dates, times, observations. The pickup logs are attached. I take the document. It's heavy. Official. Emma's a good kid, Ms. Rodriguez says quietly. She deserves stability. I'm going to give it to her. I drive home with the statement on my passenger seat. 3 pages that prove my daughter was paraded in front of strangers, claimed by another man, while I worked to provide for her. That night, I add Ms. Rodriguez's statement to the binder. It's grown to 78 pages now. Saturday, my sister Jennifer calls. I don't answer. She texts, "Please talk to me. Mom told me you're upset." I text back, "You watched my wife cheat for 6 months and said nothing. There's nothing to talk about. We were trying to protect you from what? Reality? Truth? Being able to make informed decisions about my own life? From being hurt?" I almost laugh. Too late. She doesn't respond. Sunday, I take Emma to the park. She plays on the swings. I push her higher and higher, her laughter cutting through the April air. An older woman approaches, Mrs. Chen, our neighbor. She's lived 3 doors down for 20 years. "Mike," she says, "can we talk?" "Sure. Emma, stay where I can see you, okay?" "Okay, Daddy." Mrs. Chen and I sit on a bench. She's holding a manila envelope. "I heard through the neighborhood," she says, "about you and Sarah. I'm sorry. Thank you. There's something you should know." She hands me the envelope. Emma came to my door 3 times in the last 2 months, late at night. 10, sometimes 11 o'clock. What? She knocked on my door. Each time she asked if she could sleep in my guest room because the house felt wrong. Those were her words. The house feels wrong. My throat closes. Did you let her in? I walked her home each time. Sarah answered the door. She said Emma was sleepwalking, thanked me, took her inside. Mrs. Chen's eyes are sad. But Mike, Emma wasn't sleepwalking. She was scared. Did she say why? She said the house was too quiet, but also too loud. She said Mommy was sad, but also happy, and it was confusing. She said, Mrs. Chen pauses. She said sometimes she heard Mommy crying, and sometimes she heard Mommy laughing on the phone, and she didn't know which one was real. I can't breathe. I've written down the dates, Mrs. Chen says. March 15th, March 29th, April 5th. I'm willing to testify if needed. That child knew something was wrong. Her body knew. I take the envelope. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Say you'll fight for her, because that little girl deserves a parent who puts her first. I will. That night, after Emma's asleep, I open the envelope. Mrs. Chen's statement is detailed, specific, heartbreaking. March 15th, 10:47 p.m. Emma knocked, wearing frozen pajamas, holding stuffed rabbit, asked to stay because the house feels wrong. Walked her home. Mother answered door, appeared surprised but not concerned. Evidence entry, Datmari 84. My daughter tried to escape 3 times, and I never knew. I sit in my empty living room, surrounded by evidence of my imploding life, and I understand something crucial. I didn't lose my wife 13 months ago. I lost my entire support system, my friend, my family. Even my own home had become unsafe for my daughter without me knowing. But I also understand this. I'm building something new. Evidence by evidence, statement by statement, witness by witness, a case, a foundation, a future where Emma feels safe. Mark calls Monday morning. We file tomorrow, everything's ready. How are you holding up? I'm surviving. That's all you need to do right now. Survive. One day at a time. Mark? Yeah? Thank you for believing me. I've seen the evidence, Mike. This isn't about belief. It's about facts, and the facts are on your side. I hang up. The binder sits on my desk, nearly 100 pages now. Every message, every receipt, every witness statement, every piece of proof that I was the last to know, but the first to document. Tomorrow, we file. Tomorrow, the legal battle begins. Tomorrow, I stop being the victim and start being the fighter. I look at Emma's drawing on my desk, the one with 2 people inside the house, safe together. I'm going to make that real. We don't leave, not anymore, not the people who truly love us. And this time, I get to choose who that includes. The mediation is scheduled for May 28th, 6 weeks after I filed. 6 weeks of temporary custody orders, supervised visitations, and Sarah's lawyer building their counter-narrative. Mark warned me this would happen. When people are caught this thoroughly, he said, they don't apologize. They attack. He was right. 2 days before mediation, Sarah's lawyer sends over their evidence packet. Mark calls me immediately. Mike, you need to sit down. I'm already sitting. She's claiming abuse, physical and emotional. She has photos. My blood goes cold. What photos? Bruises on her arms, her ribs. She's saying you've been violent for years, that she was afraid to leave. That's insane. I never touched her. I know, but Mike, these photos have metadata, timestamps, XIF data. They look real. They can't be real. I'm sending you the file. Look at it. Call me back. The email arrives. I open the attachment. There are 6 photos. Sarah's arm with purple bruises, her ribs with yellowing marks, her wrist with what looks like finger marks. Each photo is dated over the last 6 months, each one time-stamped and geotagged to our house. But I remember these dates. March 3rd, I was in Denver for a conference. I have hotel receipts. April the 12th, I was at Emma's school for parent-teacher conferences. Ms. Rodriguez can confirm. April 30th, I was at my father's gravesite with Emma. We took photos, time-stamped photos. I call Mark back. These are doctored, they have to be. Can you prove it? I can prove I wasn't home for 3 of these dates, and the other 3, I was never alone with her. Emma was there, neighbors were there. Good. Get me documentation, every receipt, every photo, every witness, because this is what they're going to leave with in mediation. I spend the next 2 days building my alibi for dates I never thought I'd need to defend. Hotel confirmations, flight records, credit card receipts from restaurants in Denver, photos from Emma's school event, with timestamps matching the alleged abuse. Mark assembles it into a counter exhibit. 15 pages titled Timeline Analysis, Impossibility of Alleged Incidents. This is good, he says, but Mike, be prepared. Mediation is going to be brutal. She's going to sit across from you and accuse you of things that never happened. Can you stay calm? I don't know. You have to. If you react, if you show anger, it plays into her narrative. You need to be the calm, rational parent. Can you do that? For Emma, I can do anything. May 28th arrives, cold and gray. I wear a suit. Mark meets me in the parking lot of the family court building. Remember, he says, let me handle the talking. You're here to show them you're stable, rational, and focused on Emma's welfare. Nothing else matters. The mediation room is small. Beige walls, conference table, water pitcher. The mediator is a woman named Patricia Hall, late 50s. Reading glasses on a chain around her neck. Sarah arrives with her lawyer, a sharp-dressed man named Kenneth Cross. She's wearing a conservative dress, minimal makeup. She looks fragile, wounded. She doesn't look at me. We sit on opposite sides of the table. Patricia introduces herself, explains the process, reminds us that mediation is confidential and non-binding, but strongly encouraged. Let's begin with custody arrangements, Patricia says. Mrs. Hayes, your petition requests 50-50 physical custody. Mr. Hayes, yours requests primary physical custody with supervised visitation for Mrs. Hayes. Can either of you explain your reasoning? Kenneth speaks before I can. Your Honor, I'm not a judge, Patricia interrupts. Just Patricia is fine. Patricia, my client is Emma's mother. She's been the primary caregiver since birth. She's seeking joint custody because that's what's best for the child. Mr. Hayes, however, has created a hostile environment by making unfounded accusations and restricting access to her daughter. Mark leans forward. Unfounded, we have documented evidence of a 13-month affair involving the child. Messages, photos, hotel receipts, witness testimony from school staff that Emma was exhibiting anxiety and behavioral changes. My client made a mistake in her marriage, Kenneth says. That doesn't make her a bad mother. She taught the child to lie, Mark counters. She put the child in situations with her affair partner and instructed her not to tell her father. That's not a mistake. That's calculated manipulation of a minor. Kenneth slides a folder across the table. What's calculated is Mr. Hayes' abuse of my client. We have photographic evidence of physical violence dating back 6 months. Patricia opens the folder, studies the photos, looks at me. Mr. Hayes, these are serious allegations. How do you respond? I take a breath, stay calm. They're fabricated. I have never struck my wife. I have never been violent with anyone. The photos have metadata, Kenneth says. Time, date, location, all verified. Mark slides our counter exhibit across. And here's proof that Mr. Hayes was not home for 3 of the alleged incidents. Hotel records from a business trip, photos from a school event, security footage from a cemetery showing him with Emma at the exact timestamp of another alleged incident. Patricia examines both exhibits. The room is silent except for the sound of papers turning. Finally, she looks up. Mrs. Hayes, can you explain how these injuries occurred if your husband was in Denver? Sarah speaks for the first time. Her voice is soft. I got confused about the dates. The abuse happened so often, You got confused, Patricia repeats, flat. Yes, the photos are real. The dates might be wrong in the metadata. I must have doctored the EXIF data, Mark suggests. Because that's what our digital forensics expert concluded. These images were manipulated, created. 3 of them contain pixels from stock photos of bruises available online. Kenneth's face goes pale. We'll need to verify. We already did. Mark produces another document. Forensic analysis, completed by a certified expert. All 6 photos show signs of digital manipulation, including one where the bruise pattern exactly matches a Getty Images stock photo from 2019. The room shifts. Sarah is crying now. Real tears or performed tears. I can't tell anymore. Patricia sets down the exhibits. Mrs. Hayes, creating false evidence of abuse is a serious matter. It wastes court resources and, more importantly, it undermines actual victims of domestic violence. I didn't create anything. Kenneth, tell her. Kenneth is gathering his papers. Perhaps we should take a recess. I don't think so, Patricia says. I think we should talk about why Mrs. Hayes felt the need to fabricate abuse allegations rather than address the actual issues at hand. My client is the victim here, Kenneth tries. She's being gaslit by a man who... Your client, Mark interrupts, had a documented affair for 13 months. She involved the couple's 6-year-old daughter in maintaining the deception. She made hotel reservations on their joint credit card. She introduced the affair partner to the child's school as Uncle David, to the point where other parents assumed he was the father. And when confronted with evidence, she manufactured false abuse allegations, complete with fake photographs. Which part of that makes her a victim? The silence is crushing. Patricia looks at me. "Mr. Hayes, what do you want from this mediation?" "I want my daughter safe," I say, my voice is steady. "I want her to grow up knowing that honesty matters, that actions have consequences, that when people hurt you, you don't have to pretend everything's fine." "Do you want to deny Mrs. Hayes access to Emma?" "No, I want supervised visitation until Emma feels safe, until Sarah can demonstrate that she won't use Emma as a pawn or a secret keeper. I want my daughter to have a mother who shows up for her, not one who teaches her that love means lying." Sarah stands up. "You're trying to turn her against me." "Sit down, Mrs. Hayes," Patricia says. Not unkind, but firm. Sarah sits. "If this story is resonating with you, if you're rooting for Emma and me, hit the like button. It helps more people find their way to stories that matter." Patricia makes notes for several minutes, then, "Mr. Hayes, Mrs. Hayes, I'm going to strongly recommend that we bring in a child psychologist, someone neutral who can assess Emma's emotional state and make recommendations to the court." "Agreed," Mark says. Kenneth nods reluctantly. "I'm appointing Dr. Sarah Kim." Patricia continues. "She'll conduct 3 sessions with Emma over the next 2 weeks. She'll also interview each of you separately. Her report will be submitted to me and both attorneys. In the meantime, the temporary custody arrangement stands. Mr. Hayes retains primary physical custody. Mrs. Hayes gets supervised visitation twice a week. Do you both understand?" We nod. "Good. We'll reconvene in 3 weeks. In the meantime, I strongly suggest you both focus on what's best for your daughter and stop trying to destroy each other." The mediation ends. Sarah leaves quickly, Kenneth behind her. Mark and I stay seated. "That went better than expected," Mark says. "She tried to accuse me of abuse, and we proved it was fabricated. Mike, this is good." The mediator sees through her strategy. The psychologist's report will be crucial, but I think we're in a strong position. "What if Emma says she wants to be with Sarah?" "Then we'll address that. But Mike, kids are honest with good therapists. If Emma feels safer with you, she'll say so." 2 weeks later, Dr. Kim submits her report. Mark reads it first, then calls me. "You need to hear this," he says. He reads excerpts over the phone. Dr. Kim's clinical language, careful and precise, describing 3 sessions with Emma. Subject presented as a bright, articulate child with age-appropriate social skills. However, when discussing her home environment, subject demonstrated significant anxiety. When asked about her mother, subject stated, "Mommy makes me feel like I need to be quiet. I don't know why." When asked about her father, subject's affect brightened. She stated, "Daddy makes me feel safe. When Daddy hugs me, I feel warm." Subject drew 2 family portraits. In the first, drawn unprompted, subject placed herself and her father close together, smiling. The mother figure was drawn smaller, at a distance. In the second portrait, drawn when asked to include everyone in your family, subject included her father, a neighbor identified as Mrs. Chen, and 2 other figures she labeled Mr. Mark and Miss Rodriguez. When asked where her mother was in the second drawing, subject stated, "Mommy is somewhere else right now. She's finding herself. That's what she told me." My eyes burn. Emma drew her found family, the people who showed up. Mark continues. Clinical assessment. This child is experiencing conflicted attachment. She loves her mother, but associates her mother with anxiety and the need to suppress her own feelings. She feels unconditionally safe with her father. Recommendation: primary physical custody to father. Therapeutic reunification for mother-child relationship before unsupervised visitation resumes. Mike, you still there? Yeah, I manage. I'm here. The court is going to follow this recommendation. We're going to win. When? Final hearing is scheduled for next week, June 18th. June 18th is a Thursday. I take the day off work. Mark meets me at the courthouse at 9 a.m. This time, it's not mediation. It's a formal hearing. A judge, Judge Catherine Morrison, according to the nameplate, sits at the bench. Sarah is there with Kenneth. She's wearing the same conservative dress, same fragile appearance. I'm wearing my suit. Emma's drawing is in my pocket, the one where she drew our found family. Judge Morrison calls the hearing to order, reviews the evidence, the binder, the witness statements, the hotel receipts, the forensic analysis of the fake photos, Dr. Kim's report. She asks Sarah direct questions. Mrs. Hayes, did you have an extramarital affair lasting 13 months? Yes. Sarah's voice is barely audible. Did you involve your daughter in maintaining this affair by introducing your affair partner to her school and instructing her not to tell her father? I never instructed Mrs. Hayes. Your daughter's teacher has provided sworn testimony that Emma stated, and I quote, "Mommy loves Uncle David and Daddy doesn't know." Did you or did you not create that situation? Silence. Mrs. Hayes, I need an answer. Yes, Sarah whispers. Did you create false photographs alleging abuse? Kenneth stands. Your Honor, my client maintains... Sit down, Mr. Cross. Mrs. Hayes, answer the question. Sarah is crying. I was scared. I thought if I didn't. Yes or no? Yes. Judge Morrison sets down the file. She looks at Sarah for a long moment, then at me. Mr. Hayes, do you love your daughter? More than anything. Are you prepared to put her needs above your own hurt and anger? Yes. Even if that means eventually fostering a healthy relationship between Emma and her mother? I think about Emma's drawing, about Mrs. Chen walking her home at night, about Ms. Rodriguez documenting her anxiety, about Mark taking my calls at midnight, about the family we've built from wreckage. Yes, I say, because that's what parents do. We show up, we tell the truth, we choose our kids over our pride. Judge Morrison nods. She makes a note. Then she delivers her ruling. I'm awarding primary physical custody to Michael Hayes, effective immediately. Sarah Hayes will have supervised visitation twice per month, supervised by a court-appointed monitor. After 6 months of documented therapy and parenting classes, Mrs. Hayes may petition for increased visitation. Custody will be reviewed in 1 year. She pauses, looks directly at Sarah. Mrs. Hayes, your daughter loves you. But love isn't enough when a child doesn't feel safe. You have work to do. I suggest you do it. The gavel falls. It's over. Mark squeezes my shoulder. Congratulations. I can't speak. I just nod. Outside the courtroom, I call Emma's school. She's in her last week of first grade. I tell them I'll pick her up today. When I arrive, Ms. Rodriguez meets me at the door. How did it go? Primary custody. She's safe. Ms. Rodriguez's eyes fill. Good. She deserves that. Emma runs out, backpack bouncing. Daddy, you're here. I'm here, baby. Why are you crying? Happy tears, I say. Just happy tears. That night, Emma and I have dinner with Mrs. Chen. She made dumplings, Emma's favorite. Mark stops by after work with ice cream. We sit around Mrs. Chen's kitchen table, me, Emma, Mrs. Chen, Mark, and we eat dumplings and laugh about Emma's stories from school. This is family, not blood, not obligation, just people who showed up when everything fell apart. Later, after Emma's asleep, I frame one of her drawings, the one with 4 people, Daddy, Emma, Mrs. Chen, and Miss Rodriguez, her found family. I hang it on the wall in our living room. Underneath, I place the custody order. Primary physical custody, in writing, official. Emma is safe. 3 months later, it's September. Emma starts second grade. She's thriving. Her teacher says she's more confident, more joyful, more present. Sarah calls occasionally. The supervised visits are awkward but improving. She's in therapy. She's taking parenting classes. She sends cards on holidays. I don't know if we'll ever get to a place of forgiveness. Maybe that's not the goal. Maybe the goal is just truth, accountability, safety for Emma. David moved out of state. I heard through mutual friends. Well, former mutual friends. I don't think about him much anymore. The betrayal has become distant, like something that happened to someone else. My mother and I are speaking again, tentatively. She apologized. It wasn't enough, but it was something. Emma deserves to know her grandmother, so we're trying. Jennifer and I are still working on it. Some betrayals take longer to heal. But here's what I know now. Family isn't who you're born to. It's who shows up. Mrs. Chin is Emma's honorary grandmother. She picks her up from school once a week. They bake cookies together. Mark became my daughter's honorary uncle. He comes to her school events, buys her books, teaches her terrible jokes. Ms. Rodriguez still checks in. She texts me photos of Emma in class, always smiling. And Emma, she's drawing again. New pictures, bigger families, more colors. Last week, she drew a picture of our house. This time, there are 5 people inside, her found family, all of us together. She wrote at the bottom, in her careful second grade handwriting, people who stayed. I framed that one too. On Saturday mornings, Emma and I make pancakes. We put on music. We dance in the kitchen. We're building new traditions, new memories, new definitions of normal. No mansion, no Mercedes. Just Emma, me, and Saturday morning pancakes. It's enough. It's more than enough. Last week, Emma asked me about the wedding vows. She had found the video again. Mommy said, "We don't leave," Emma said. But she did leave. I pulled her onto my lap. She did, and that hurt. But I learned something important. What? We don't leave. That's still true. But now I know it means something different. What does it mean? It means we don't leave the people who truly love us. Mrs. Chen doesn't leave. Mr. Mark doesn't leave. Miss Rodriguez doesn't leave. And I will never, ever leave you. Promise? Promise. She hugged me tight. I won't leave you either, Daddy. I know, baby. That night, I put her to bed. Mr. Hoppy under her left arm, her stuffed unicorn under her right. I kiss her forehead. Daddy? Yeah? I'm glad we have our family, the one we picked. Me too, Em. Me too. I turn off her light. Stand in the doorway watching her fall asleep. This child who survived her parents' war. This child who knew the truth before anyone told her. This child who drew her family the way it actually was, not the way it pretended to be. I close her door quietly. In the living room, the framed photo sits on the mantel. Not just Emma and me, Mrs. Chen, Mark, Ms. Rodriguez, a few parents from Emma's school who've become friends, my support group members, other divorced dads figuring out custody and healing, all of us at Emma's 7th birthday party last month, not related by blood, chosen family, Emma's handwriting on the frame, people who stayed. That's the story, not the affair, not the betrayal, not the 13 months of lies. The story is what came after. The story is Mrs. Chin opening her door at midnight to a scared 6-year-old. The story is Mark taking my calls when I couldn't stop crying. The story is Ms. Rodriguez documenting the truth when it would have been easier to look away. The story is Emma drawing her family exactly as it was, honest and imperfect and real. We don't leave, not anymore, not the people who truly love us. And this time, I got to choose who that includes. I want to hear about your found family, the people who showed up when blood didn't. Share your story in the comments. Sometimes the family we choose saves us in ways we never expected. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share this video. Your story might be the thing that helps them hold on. I turn off the lights. Tomorrow, Emma and I are going to the park, then to Mrs. Chen's for dinner, then home, where we belong. The pink phone is still in evidence storage somewhere. The hotel receipts are in a filing cabinet. The text messages are backed up on 3 different drives. But I don't look at them anymore, because the evidence I need isn't in a binder. It's on my wall, in a frame, in my daughter's handwriting. People who stayed. That's all that matters now. That's the only truth worth keeping.